on, quick question where we get stuck in. Is there any way we can address two things which people have commented on, not last episode because that just came out today, but the episode before?
Yes.
First of all, we asked people about whether they had a specific tool for a certain part of their body. Like I knew a girl who had a cloth for her face, a cloth for her butt, and we were talking about somebody who had a beaker specifically to dip their penis in, and somebody got in touch and said there's a thing called a poop knife.
A poop knife?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't even know if I want to ask what a poop knife is.
I think the clue's in the name.
I've heard of it.
It's for cutting your shit. Like if you're doing one and it's not coming out, like you can't finish the pinch, and you need to get it done. You just like chop your shit.
Is that not dangerous?
It's plastic and blunt. It's not a sharp knife. It's a plastic blunt knife.
They could have at least had a wooden one. It's 2020. I mean, plastic.
So do you just walk about with the rest of your shit like still there?
Not me personally.
No, not you personally, but like people.
Wow, I would hope not, but probably. Seen the state of some people.
I think you soak the tail back up.
If you're calling it a tail, you need to see somebody.
But there we go. If you've got any comments badger porn from last week's episode, please do get in touch, because I've still not had any badger porn sent my way and I'm disappointed.
I'm going to try every week until I get this right. I'm going to try and say the word that I can't say properly.
What's the word?
Parenting. Was that better? That was better, wasn't it?
It was close. There wasn't a weird ing in the middle of the word. It wasn't parenting.
I'm going to try it every week. I'm going to try it in different accents to see if that helps.
Try it in an English accent.
Parenting. No. Folks, welcome to Are We Being Unreasonable? The brand new podcast where comedians and talent from the land of comedy discuss outrageous posts from internet parenting forums. My name is Sean Wilkie. I'm a writer, comedian and filmmaker, and I'll be your host. I'll just quickly introduce our guest for today's episode. We have my co-host Ashley Storrie, as well as viral video sensation Paul Dockery, and writer, actress and director Hannah MacMillan. Right, so the first story is a pirate noises during sex. So the original post says, I'm too embarrassed to reveal my true identity, but I am a bit freaked out by my DP, which I think means darling partner.
Or Derek Prentice.
Derek Prentice. Recently, he has begun to put on a strange voice during sex. Example, "Our matey," in the style of this weird sea captain from The Simpsons. The other one is, "Are the ships a docking?" and "My lighthouse is tingling." There are various others along the lines, but I won't go into them all now. He's not a sailor and has AFAIK, I don't know what that means, no connection to seafaring folk. Just wondering if I can say how uncomfortable this is making me feel. It's just fucking weird, but it seems to be turning him on. Thoughts?
AFAIK means as far as I know.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
As far as she knows, he's not a seaman, but he might be.
He could just secretly be a sailor.
I feel very triggered by this post. I used to be really into puzzle pirates, and I would I would pirate up for my crew.
That's a proper put knife that you can have from that game. That's like the best version for that.
For your pip deck. On your slip. Anyhow, I love pirate stuff. Also, in The Sims, there's Talk Like a Pirate Day. That all aside, I just think that this is bullshit and she's made this up for attention.
I was thinking maybe that was bullshit.
I think so. From the way it's written, maybe a hint of it. But at the same time, I really want it to happen because I want to know if he's like in the full attire or like has his own name in his head, like giving himself names or something like Captain Coxeye or something like that.
Paul, what are your thoughts on pirate sex?
I thought it was funny, firstly, that she said, as far as I know, like as if if she worked out that he did have a pirate family connection or a sailor family connection, that it made any more sense. Like, in this accent on.
Like, if they went on the Family Tree website and found out he was actually a pirate, she'd be like, that explains the chatting.
But the other thing that's making me think that it is real is the date on it is like 2005, and that's like after like Pirates of the Caribbean shit came out, and fucking people were really obsessed. Like, see, at the moment, people were into cowboys, people all like cowboy shit. Back in those points, everyone was into pirates. So I think it's a real thing, because like one of my pals worked at like a Disney place or something like that, and it was like, he said one of the guys had to dress up as Captain Jack Sparrow, and he said that he just got laid all the time. So I think it might be a real thing.
I worked at a Disney place and I dressed up as the Norwegian guy who ran a shop in Frozen, and I did not get my hole all the time.
Wasn't that all Norwegian and Frozen?
What? No, that was the Norwegian shop owner guy who's like, big summer blowout.
I mean, you saying that in a sexual like situation, I mean, that's a pinnacle.
I don't think
I don't know why you're not, to be honest. I'm questioning these people.
She does say that she said something about Captain Jack Sparrow being really hot, and she thinks that might be why he's done it.
Captain Jack Sparrow's probably better than the guy. What's the other guy in that movie with all the fucking tentacles like that? I mean, if you've got your choices, it's probably going to be Captain Jack Sparrow.
I don't know, it depends what you're into. Tentacle porn's very big. I think if we did a video for video search on Pornhub, pirate porn versus tentacle porn, I think tentacle porn would win out in terms of videos. Get in touch with us, let us know what you think. Tentacle versus pirate porn, what's your favourite? Sean, what's your favourite?
I'm glad these all get sent to your Twitter and not mine.
Ashley Storrie, let me know. Badger porn, tentacle porn, pirate porn, what you into?
Or all three. Mix it up.
Badgers can't swim, so that wouldn't work. The thing that I find the least believable about this, right, is that that's the thing that shook her up, is that he's done a voice during sex. Like, if every man was writing on a forum who I did a funny impersonation during coitus, the internet would literally be full of, I just fucked a woman who did a weird Liza Minnelli impersonation halfway through it. Is that normal? You want to see my big show? Anyhow, I just think that unless he's like strapping a leg back, pretending he's got one leg, and suddenly pulled out a parrot for the bedside cabinet, I just don't think it's that big a deal. Like, he's done a voice. Calm yourself in. If that's the kinkiest thing that's happening, good. Fuck it. Just go with it.
If he's got the confidence to say my lighthouse tingling, then you probably should just go for it. I mean, that's impressive. Whatever you're doing to make it tingle, like, you must be doing something right.
And lighthouse is a big building. He's not saying, "Oh, you're hoisting my mast." It's a fucking lighthouse. It's a girthy big building, man, on a rock. That's a big hard thing.
I don't think she's even particularly complaining about it. I think she's just putting it out there as a bit of a humble brag. I think she's just putting up there like, my man does.
I think you're right. Do you know what? I think she's just showing off that she's getting her hold of a pirate. Paul, because you're quite the character man. You make a lot of videos on the internet. You do a lot of funny stuff. You ever done a voice during sex? Ever just hit out with a funny limerick or some sort of a funny impersonation while you're balls deep in somebody?
No, definitely, but I think it's more just
Is Dominic Cummings doing a press conference near somebody? That was Paul's voice. That was just in case that for the listeners who are like, oh, what was that noise? That was Paul's weird sex voice that he puts on. He's deep inside a woman and he goes, I
love a foghorn.
I'm just keeping up to date with like the sailor themes. I just let out a foghorn. My neighbour's drilling tons of stuff downstairs. So.
Drilling puss. So, Hannah, what you doing? You doing some weird voices? You doing some weird characters? You improving? You saying yes and?
I wish I had enough action to actually get the opportunity to do any of that sort of stuff, to be honest. But I've had weird messages from some of the character stuff that I've done, where like I've been like a boy or a grandpa or something, and then some guys message me being like, you look better as a man than you do a woman, and all this stuff, and then like saying extra stuff about how like they prefer the boy, and that this is why they prefer the boy, and all this. The internet's
such a weird fucking place. One of the videos I do is Annie, and there's a guy literally sent a picture of that paused me holding my dog, paused dressed as a giant Annie, and he jizzed on his screen, and he took a picture of the jizz on the screen on the picture of me holding my dog, and that's called a cum tribute.
That's incredible. I just get the typical dick pics. That's way more interesting.
I put more weird shit out there though, with my chat about badger porn and stuff. So I get a lot of the weirdos coming back at me. Sean, what about you? You doing any characters in the bedroom? You putting on your leather jacket and pretending to be a T-bird?
No. Whenever I was young, I remember in work, right, there was a bet to see who would shout Nakamura at the end. And I was the only one to do it. And I was also the person that started the bet.
What? At the end of your intercourse?
Yes.
How did they know? Did you just have to come in and be like, yeah, I shouted it? Or were they like listening?
They didn't. They just had to come in and say, I don't think MD was interested. I think I just do this, guys. And then everyone was like, yeah, sure. And then I came in and was like, I did it. And they were like, nobody else actually knows what you're talking about.
Oh, that's a really sad story.
Wait, did you actually do this? What was him/hers reaction? I don't know what you're into.
Was it your wife? Was it Ashley? What did she say?
No, it was not my wife. This was when I was really young. She just said, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
Was she a middle-aged woman? Sounds like
she's going, oh, for fuck's sake, not again.
Were you banging like Moz when you were young? I feel like that would have been your type when you were like 17. You would have been banging a 34-year-old. I think you were. I would put that out. There he was. Listeners, he's definitely looking to the left, which is an indicator of falsehood.
I was trying to think. I was like, no.
Do you not keep a pump journal?
No, I don't keep a pump journal. Do you keep a pump journal?
Yeah. And see, when they die, I'm going to cross them off in a really dramatic fashion.
I love that.
I'm going to be an old lady with my pump journal, and I'm just going to like start crossing them all off. It's going to be great.
What would it look like though? Would it be like black and menacing, fluffy and pink, or like the sequined one?
I think it's going to be black and menacing. And when I do it, I'm going to wear a really wide brimmed hat and be shot from a right angle where we're like really well lit and sharp.
Incredible.
Okay, that's just me then. Fine, whatever.
She has been unreasonable then, is that it?
I think that if she's upset, she's being unreasonable. If she's just bragging, then that's fair dues. But if she thinks this is incredibly weird, then she's clearly never been on the internet before because he's just doing a voice. Paul, do you think she's being unreasonable?
Same as you. If she's just bragging about it, then fair dues. But I don't think it's the weirdest thing.
Anna, is she being unreasonable?
I think she's being unreasonable. And you say that like she obviously hasn't been on the internet. She's putting this on Mumsnet. And there's some dark shit on Mumsnet. And that's a definite brag. I'm sorry. That's 100% a brag. She's like, oh, I can't believe this has happened to me of all people. Oh no. Get lost. Unreasonable.
Ha. Burn the wench. Throw her overboard. Make her walk the plank.
Morning, this person's daughter was telling her that she had a bummed up nose. B-U-M-M-E, and she asked her to repeat it and said the same thing again. She asked her to clarify what she was saying, and she thought she was basically saying a bunged up nose, but she was saying a bummed up nose. So she said she's going to carry on saying it that way, and there's a few other things of people confusing different song lyrics or different things basically from then on out. So is there anything that you guys see, any sayings that you think you say them wrong, or?
Well, an opticians did a survey on this. It was part of a hearing loss awareness campaign to find out what was the most common in Britain misheard or misunderstood phrases. And the top one is obviously it's to be Pacific when it's specific. That's one of the most common ones. But my favourite was circus-sized.
Circus-sized?
Circus-sized?
What would you think that is, Paul?
For circumcised, then. It sounds great in the context of saying, I've got a circus-sized dick. Is very amazing. So,
is it a big top?
Is it like a clown car? Can it fit like this?
I like I think I used to say this when I was younger, intensive purposes. Instead of for all intents and purposes, I'd say for intensive purposes.
What kind of situations are you in to be able to use that phrase anyway? I don't think I've ever said that seriously in my life.
Watched a load of The Bill as a young child and would recreate courtroom scenes for the accused in my bedroom with my teddy bear.
You say for all intents and purposes.
For all intents and purposes, the witness has been tampered with, Your Honour. I rest my case.
When I was younger, I went to my first ever Celtic game with my dad. And I must be about 10, right? And we went, and Celtic were pretty shit at the time. So it was like during Rangers 9 in a row. And they were all singing, and it was about Christmas time, and everyone was singing Sack the Board. And I remember thinking they were singing Santa Claus. Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus. And I went into school the next day and I said to my mates, I was like, I went to my first ever Celtic game yesterday. And they were like, was it good? And I was like, aye, they were all singing Santa Claus, Santa Claus.
Very cute.
I got the absolute piss taken out of me.
I used to think the Transformers songs was Transformers, robots in the skies. I thought it was about sky robots.
They do fly in the sky, like in the title, so I can understand how you would think that.
Makes sense to me. Paul, what have you misheard in your life? What have you been slinging out there and saying the wrong way around?
I don't really get phrases wrong, but see when it's like words that are like French words or something that get brought over, like faux, for example. I kept saying fox for ages, and it was fucking, and then I get ripped to shreds by my ex-brother, just absolutely ripped me to shreds for it, as well as
well, that's a fox paw.
It's a fox pass, actually. Yeah. Fox pass, aye.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a fox pass. Start a porn website called Foxy's Pass.
Badger's pass.
Don't mind if I do.
And then it's like Ashley has subscribed to Fox's Pass. What about you, Hannah?
I used to, when I was really young, I still struggle to say it, but I used to say shoulder instead of, soldier. And then I used to think that you spelt Morocco like hey Macarena a lot as well.
How is that? How would you pronounce that then?
I can't, it was something specific where it was brought to my attention in school. And I thought it's spelt the same way. I knew it wasn't pronounced the same way. But just one of the answers was Morocco, but I spelled it Macarena.
Just spelt the same, said different.
Yeah, but that's how my mind worked at the time.
I used to think that the Gulf War was in the Gorbals.
Why?
The Gulf War was happening, right? And then the Gorbals got demolished, like high-rise flats got demolished in the Gorbals, and I saw that, and I saw the buildings getting blown up on TV, and in my brain, I made the decision that the Gulf War was happening in the Gorbals, and if anybody said they were from the Gorbals or they were going to the Gorbals, I'd get really distressed and start crying because I thought that Saddam Hussein was going to kill them, who I also thought was Walter Matthau, but that's by the by. Like, I made a lot of weird connections in my brain, so I understand your Morocco thing. There must have been a process of thoughts in your wee brain.
Yeah, just one connecting the other. Talking about TV and stuff as well, there was one point I remember the first ever music video that I probably saw that I remember was Evanescence, Bring Me to Life. And the only part, I only saw like 30 seconds of it, but of course it was the part where she falls from the window. So for like weeks, I thought that had actually happened like locally. And I'd spoken to it about it to a few of my friends. I was like, this woman fell like this really tall building, by the way. And all my friends are like, oh my God, no way. I was like, yeah. And they're like, what happened? I was like, I don't know because I turned it off.
I feel so old right now that's the first music video you remember.
Is this the kind of stuff that goes on though in like Mumsnet though? Is Mumsnet not like the hive mind for total mad kind of conspiracy theory kind of Moz kind of thing like that, where it's like mad like theories like that, like China or Russia started this shit or something? But
Chemtrails and that.
Chemtrails, aye. What's that other thing? 5G. Everyone's going fucking mad about
5G chemtrail vaccinations.
Yes.
That's what they're wanting to give us all.
And the drone birds are going to drop it all off so we can do it ourselves.
And then we're all going to be homogenized, beige, and have no genitals, and men can't even say hello anymore.
I look forward to 2021.
I was worried that the Terminators would take over.
That'd be hot though.
Okay.
Like, either which one, T2, T1, whatever, they're both hot.
Just appear naked in your street, crouching, rising up. Is that what you're looking forward to?
Holding a badger.
Like, why did nobody, like, when that guy is like appeared naked in the middle of that road, why was there no a woman like, "Geez, a sugar"? Like,
If it had been in Scotland, there probably would have been.
would have been great. Look at the muscles in his arse. That's fantastic. Just some woman throwing button mushrooms at his arse. Like, yes. I literally sat and watched two, I think it was bees, they might have been wasps, I don't want to like assume, but two jaggy insects shagging on my window ledge for about 15 minutes. I just sat and watched it like, They might have been killing each other, but it looked really erotic. And then I sang a wee song to try and help them along, but it didn't really help. And then they rolled off and they fell, and I don't know what happened next.
What was the song?
I was just like, just like something chill, not something to distract from what they were doing, just something to ease along their lovemaking.
Like the daddy long leg. We thought we were being really nice and like saving them from spider webs and stuff like that. And then we like in a couple of occasions there were two stuck together. We'd like to put it and we'd be like, oh no, that can't happen. Just rip them apart. Romeo and Juliet style. I know. We didn't know what was going on. Don't pull that face.
What a monstrous thing to do. Have you never heard the song The Circle of Life from The Lion King? You let this stuff happen.
There was no mention about them being stuck together. So we thought we were.
It's implied. It's
trying to help them. We thought we were benefiting the world of Daddy Longlegs. Like, oh yay, they're going to survive longer.
That Daddy Longleg probably couldn't get an erection again because of the trauma of being pulled off his lover by children.
I don't think back at it. We've probably broken up a lot of like Daddy Longlegs families.
Terrible.
Maybe we did a good thing. Maybe it was a mistress and we saved the family.
Maybe you caught that cheating Daddy Longleg.
To be honest, they are called Daddy Longlegs, which sounds like quite a kinky, creepy name. So I don't think they had families. I think they were all fucking just going mad.
It's like when they're shagging, they're like, "Who's your daddy?" And then they'll be like, "Me, you, I don't know, are we not all?" Make that your next video, Paul. Be a daddy long leg shagging. I don't know how we're meant to say, is this woman being unreasonable for saying that her daughter's nose is bunged up or bummed up? Nobody was unreasonable in this story. The only thing that's unreasonable is that Paul doesn't know the difference between French and English.
I like the saying, to be honest. I liked saying nose bummed up. I thought it was good. I like the fact that the daughter was just like, aye, fuck it.
Fuck it, I'm saying it like that. Ridiculous, embarrassing accidents and injuries. I have just strapped a nipple between two plastic laundry baskets. Unbelievably painful, unbelievably embarrassing to tell anyone about in real life. Make me feel better by telling me your humiliating mishaps. Happy to bask in the warmth of others' distress.
Have you ever caught your knob between two laundry baskets, Sean? No, because you've never done laundry. Sorry, I just channeled your wife there. No, have you ever caught your knob between the laundry baskets, Sean?
No, I have done laundry, but I've never got my knob between two laundry baskets. I've never been doing the laundry naked. And who's got two laundry baskets?
I was about to say the same. Why does she have two? What was that situation? How is she carrying two?
I've got two laundry baskets. One for clothes, one for towels and bedding.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Towels and bedding go in at a higher temperature for sanitary purposes. Clothes go in at 30 degrees.
I'm not saying that I don't separate them. I mean, I don't, but I don't have different baskets. I don't have time.
I don't see how the separate baskets deal with the temperature and the sanitary part of things.
Just is. I think they were like 2 for 1 at IKEA.
I think she's been trying something she shouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. It's not just accidental. She wasn't just like, oh, I'll just pick these 2 baskets up. Oh, I've got my nip.
Yeah, I think she's been doing something, and now she's trying to kind of act as if like, does this happen to anyone else? Like she's probing with the question. She wants to see if anyone else has done the same.
Also, who's got hard nipples doing the washing?
Like,
I'm going to be vulnerable, right? I'm going to tell truths here. When I was a teenager, I had an innie nipple for about, like, until I was like 17, I had an innie nipple, and I was very freaked out by it. And I was at my auntie's house, and she just had a baby, and she had a breast pump, and I decided to try and suck my nipple out.
Did it work?
No, I just ended up with a giant, like, sucky bruise on my tit. And a very upset family. Because it makes a noise. It's not silent. It's like, ooh. And then they were like, Ashley, what are you doing in the toilet? And obviously I've been like, nothing.
Maybe that's what Paul's neighbours are doing just now. They're kind of trying to get rid of their innie nipples. Like, we're just drilling a sweat.
So now it's out there. Paul, have you ever hurt your nipples?
Not really. I don't know. Don't think so.
Any other weird injuries then, since you've not hurt your nipples ever? Like, when you were a wee guy, you ever had the toilet slam in your bobby?
That's a very specific one. No, I've got like a bike though with like no suspension, and it absolutely fucking destroys like your arse when you're like. I got this bike, and it's like an old-fashioned bike up in Dundee, and it's like, it's a nice bike, but you sit on it and you seem fine, and then like the next day and the day afterwards, it just feels like your fucking whole fucking tailbone and all your crotch is aching. And I cycled on it today, so I'm going to be sore. It's like no suspension. You hit any wee tiny curb, wee bump or anything, and you just feel it go right through you. So
Hannah, have you ever damaged your nips? Ever caught your flap somewhere they shouldn't have been?
No, not personally. Sorry. No, but I did have a weird situation with my flatmate, and she's very like open with her body and all this stuff. And I was just
she's
doing
hot.
uni work at one point, and she was, yeah, it's so hot.
There you go.
It's so annoying.
It's never an uggo who's free with her body. It's always a fucking hot lassie. Continue.
And she's French.
Oh, Fox's pass.
But she walked into my room at one point and just started unbuttoning her shirt. Just like, hi, Hannah, how are you? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. She's like, oh, no, good. How's your day been? What have you been up to? I was like, nothing. Why? What have you? And she was just whipped out her left tit, slammed it pretty much on my leg, and was like, pierced. And I was like, what's going on? She was like, touch it. I was like, you had any nipples? What's going on? Then she goes on to explain that she got them pierced, that she didn't have to have innies anymore. But the piercing guy spent about 20 minutes flicking her nipple to try and get it to pop out. And she paid him. She paid him to do it.
Sean and Paul didn't have like, oh my God, that's a shocking story faces on. They were like, and then the French woman walked into her bedroom and pulled her tit out and put it on your leg. And then what happened, Hannah? And then what happened? I can't, what, and do you know what? I did not come into this podcast going, oh, we're going to talk about inverted nipples that much. But there we have it. What an ingenious industrial way of keeping that peep out, getting that jelly tot out.
Sean, I thought it was really smart of her, to be honest.
Sean, what have you got to say about any nipples? Do you ever have?
I don't have anything to say about any nipples. I do have an embarrassing story, but it's not about hurting yourself. When I proposed to my wife, we went up north. So we went to this hotel in Inverness, right? And we were in the pool, and there was nobody else in the pool. And we got a wee bit carried away. And so that was fine. And then we went upstairs, we got changed, we went downstairs for our dinner.
What exactly do you mean by a wee bit carried away? Frottage, gropage, entrage? I need to know the deets.
How many pirate phrases did you pull out?
What happened to your lighthouse? Did it tingle?
Right, I'm not going into full details. There was stuff happened.
What's stuff, bits and pieces, other bits and pieces, upstairs or downstairs.
No, not like proper stuff, just like stuff. Enough. Finish the story. We went upstairs, we got changed, we come back down in the lift, and we're standing in the lift with a bunch of people, including this wee old woman. And the wee old woman says to us, "Did you enjoy your swim?" And we got into the dining room to find out that the entire wall of the dining room looks into the pool. It's a one-way mirror you cannot see. And it was during lunch that we were in the pool. So everybody at lunch was watching us.
What was the name of this hotel? I'm just going to go and ask them because everybody else knows what went on that you won't tell me. Your podcast best friend. So what's the name of the hotel? I'll just tweet them and be like, see two people doing weird stuff in your pool. Have you got security footage? It's for a podcast.
It wasn't like full on stuff. It was just we got away with carried away. But enough that people could tell that we were doing stuff in the pool.
Was it like showgirls?
No, it wasn't as bad as that.
Sean, I'm mortified for you, but also that's hilarious. And this is when you proposed. Sorry.
No, go for it.
When did you propose? Before or after you did weird shit in the pool and got seen by everybody?
The night before.
That would have been an excellent lean into moment if that's how you walked into the dining room and everybody was staring at you, so you just got down on one knee and was like, "Will you marry me?"
That's your story of how you got engaged.
Can't wait till you tell your kids this. We were doing stuff in the pool. What kind of stuff, Dad? Just stuff.
Wee boy does keep on telling people and embarrassing us that his little sister was conceived on his birthday. He worked out.
That's hilarious. What was there like a kids party on in that where you just saw the bouncy castle and were like, that's my thing? Was it a pool party?
A pirate themed pool party.
Was it at the time capsule, Sean?
It was just like on the day of his birthday.
Sure. Sean shagged in the volcano jacuzzi at the time capsule. Let's do it, mate.
Let's do it. I need to get them up. So, am I right in saying so far only Chris Scott has got one right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the first one was SWI.
Serve with ice cream. Is it?
No.
Is that what it is? Fuck.
I'm thinking, should we interfere? Because I imagine they're all really nosy people that are like, their neighbours doing something and then they're like, should we just get stuck into this? Should we?
That has to be it. That has to be it. He has to be right. Should we interfere?
Should we interfere?
It's good, but it's not it. It's sexual. I'll give you a clue.
It's sexual. Suck with intent.
Oh, you're so close.
Oh, I'm so close. Oh. Sex with intent.
Another word for that?
Shag with intent.
Shagging with intent, as in trying to conceive.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like in the police way when you're like carrying with intent to supply. I charge you with shagging with intent. That was exciting, guys. Right, what's the next one?
2 is YABOS.
You're a bitch oven, Sandra.
A bitch oven?
You're a bitch oven. Like she produces other bitches. She's a bitch oven.
No.
You hate their children that much that she's a bitch oven.
She's a bitch oven.
Makes sense.
You are as the first 2, so you get the first 2 right.
You are big, old sailor.
Is this back to the first? Yeah.
No.
You are brimming over, sir.
I've got one. I think, is it you are being one-sided?
Oh, no, but being is the third word.
Oh, fuck.
You are being overly sensitive.
You are being oversensitive, yes.
You're on a roll, Ashley.
A roll.
Itch up on me and call me Martins.
Right, number 3 is TSSDNCOP.
The shop side door's not correctly opening, Padre.
That's so good. No, it's not. It's not it, but it is. I like that one.
Taylor Swift's small ditties need checking out, pal. Is the TS Taylor Swift?
No.
And none of my ones are right.
The shit she did needed cleaned off pan. It's as if somebody's just fucked the toilet really badly, like absolutely fucked it, taking a shit. It's wet on the pan. It needed cleaned off.
I feel like that should be it.
That could be it.
Hannah, you're our last hope. You're like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Stress. She's like writing something down.
I'm trying to think now. I think Paul was closest.
No, it is the Secret Service does not comment on procedure.
Ashley, that was
on mumsnet.com.
I think that is apparently a Mumsnet acronym. The Secret Service does not comment on procedure.
What is that like? Is that a posh way of being like, we don't talk about I don't know, our fannies? Like, what does that mean?
How often would somebody say that on a Mumsnet forum that you would need an acronym for it?
But guys, if you want to get in touch about anything we've said here, if you've been offended by anything, get in touch with me at Ashley Storrie and I'll block you. If you'd like to send me badger porn, get in touch with me at Ashley Storrie. And if you want to answer our question of the week, which is better, pirate porn or tentacle porn, please do get in touch with Sean Wilkie with images and links. Thank you.
Had the jokes on you that it's not my Twitter name.
So I'm sure people will be able to find you.
Damn it. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening, folks. If you've enjoyed the show, please subscribe and be sure to share the episode on your social media accounts. If you do have any information for Ashley on what's better, tentacle porn or pirate porn, can't believe I just said that, please do get in touch. And thanks for listening. We'll see you again next week.